Alright, captains, we are back on the bridge, and today, yes, we will be on the legendary Bortasqu Command Battlecruiser. Now, before we get into this video, do us a huge favor, caps. Hit that like button. Also, if you're new here, welcome. Consider subscribing here to our YouTube bridge, where we're always on the lookout for like-minded captains, where we can share our love, our passion for Star Trek Online, but also things Star Trek. Now, with that said, here we go. Yes, captains, you know we got that recent bundle that included not only the legendary Bortasqu, but also the legendary Inquiry, and we have been having a blast. These ships have been really fun. So on to the next one, because we already did a build video on the Inquiry. Now we're going to be on the legendary Bort. It's kind of what I call it. Now I will say this again that I've said before. This ship should have been included in the Year of the Klingon Legendary Bundle, because that bundle had the BOP, the Vorcha, and of course two ships that came out of nowhere, the Excelsior and the Ambassador. I'm glad we got the legendary versions of those ships. Don't get me wrong, it's Federation. You know, caps, I'm a Fedi boy. But that bundle should have included this ship. The legendary Bortasqu should have been in that bundle, and I think if you would have just had the Bortasqu, the Vorcha, and the BOP, it would have sold just fine, if not even better, in my opinion. Now, we're also still missing a legendary Negvar, but that's another topic that we'll probably talk about when they release that. But with that said, what we're going to do in this video is go over the build, of course the weapons, space set, the consoles, trade stations, and docks, and then take it into an advanced cure. So yes, here it is. Finally, we have her though, so we're quite happy. Now, the only thing I don't like about this ship is how the camera is not centered in the middle. Now, captains, you know I like changing the point of view of this camera, and the straight on look is fine, but once you kind of turn it, the camera is focused in the middle. Now, even when you put the camera back to its normal position there, it's sort of just in the middle of the body. I believe the middle point should have been here somewhere in the base of the actual neck where it started, but that's my only complaint. Other than that, it's a great looking ship, and the Kronos 1 skin here, this looks absolutely stupendous. Now, this ship, of course, is a cryptic design, and I'd say I immediately like this ship in terms of the design. Now, we all are familiar with the KDF cannon designs. I believe, like, this ship, along with the Moog, really, I feel like has advanced the actual looks of the KDF design, and I love it. I absolutely love this design and ship. But there it is, we finally got it. So let's go over the build here quickly, and of course I named mine the IKS Bort, getting the legendary Bortasqu Command Battlecruiser. And yes, captains, we did a Torp build here on this. It was a no-brainer. Of course, captains, as you know as well, that is my favorite type of build. So this was easy peasy in terms of putting the build on it. Now, could you do anything else on this? Of course. As long as you synergize your builds, you can go cannons, beams, it doesn't matter. But of course, only if that actually gets you through the type of gameplay that you do. I don't know how you guys play caps, but for ourselves here, this, and if we put a beam or cannon build on this, it'll still get us through the nightly pew-pews that we do here. But anyways, we'll start here at the 4 weapons. Of course, we have the enhanced biomolecular photon torpedo, which is from your Undine rep. The Delphic distortion torpedo, which is from the Lobi store. The neutronic torpedo launcher, which is from your Delta rep. And the dark matter quantum torpedo, which is from your Discovery rep. Now, of course, the new addition here to the torpedo goodness is the Maelstrom quantum torpedo launcher, which is from the Akira legendary bundle that includes the Akira and the Valdor there that released a couple months ago. This has already gone through nerf and sort of a rebalance, and even at those times it got nerfed, this torpedo we still use because it actually has an awesome visual and it sounds pretty cool. So, and recently it got rebuffed or whatever they did to it, and it's just doing fine for us. We absolutely love this torpedo. Base set, nothing different here. Elite Fleet Innovation Polar Matter Deflector from your Fleet Colony. The Innervated impulse engines from the competition rep. And of course we have the mycelial harmonic matter antimatter core and the Tilly's review pending modified shield, which are both from the discovery rep. So we can't complain about that. And this does give a 2-piece here of plus 120% hull regen, which is not bad. In our aft weapons, we have the Thoron infused quantum mine launchers. We got 2 of those, which is from the Delta Dilithium rep store. And then the Elite Fleet Journor Tricobalt mine launcher, that also is from your fleet colony. This hurts hard. It really does. Again, this is from your Delta Dilithium rep store. Devices, we got the kinetic amplifier for the advanced battery for its plus 30% bonus projectile damage for 20 seconds and plus 5% crit severity for 20 seconds. The Cobia Maru transponder, of course, for its buff goodness. I did actually put some batteries here for aux, more or less for the aux. Is all I had, so that's what I used. The Deuterium surplus for its zoomies to make this ship move a little better. This actually ship moved really good, and it pretty much almost stops on a dime. It doesn't drift. I thought it was going to drift a little bit more, but really good. But that, of course, is to get to one point of the map from the other in a quick concession on top of your, of course, evasive maneuvers and the prevailing innovative engines. Consoles here. We have the VAQ Warhead Multiple Launch System. Now this console is from the Texas class, and that ship was recently gifted to us for our birthday. Of course, big huge shout out to Nick and B for gifting us that. Didn't have to, but it's Nick. Those of you who know Nick, well, I had no choice. But thank you regardless. And be on the lookout for that, because we're actually going to do a build, of course, on that ship itself. So what does it give us? It gives us a plus 31.2% kinetic and beam damage. Also, plus 16.3 hull capacity. Now, this ship, of course, or this console, we saw ship fire there on lower decks, a bunch of purple torpedoes. So it's going to match kind of what we got going on here. But as you can see there, the VAQ Warhead Multiple Launch System, medium range kinetic damage, stores up to 12 charges. It uses all when firing. Each charge launches a VAQ warhead at a random foe within target 135-degree arc, which splits into 6 projectiles after 1.25 seconds. So it's kind of a slow visual, and then all of a sudden they split up and it speeds up to the target. So it's pretty cool. You can see there, foe hit before split, 22,041.9 kinetic damage. Foes hit within 4 clicks of the split, 7,347.3 kinetic damage times 6. If no hit, far away foes, 7,347.3 kinetic damage up to 3 targets. So it's a great console in my opinion, especially if you were doing a sort of maximum torpedo build. I've been told that this is sort of the torpedo equivalent to the emulating phaser lance, and it helps procs those uncommon procs for the actual console, so you can keep just spitting this out for universal consoles, for universal designs I should say, but not uncommon, but for universal design. So it's great, we have it, we're using it, it's more torpedo goodness. Next up, the ferrofluid hydraulic assembly, which is from your Terran rep. Of course, we're using this for the max hit points, but also the minus 0.5 second shared torpedo recharge time. Off the ordnance accelerator there from your gamma rep, minus 1.5 seconds shared mine recharge time. It also does give plus 26.3% projectile weapon damage. Again, from your gamma rep. Next up, the Agony Redistributor. It has gotten a buff a little bit, and we're using it. This is actually from the Adamants. So that is the Defiant version in the Terran universe. And this does some decent damage now, so we're using it. And it does actually have a pretty cool electrifying visual cue, so why not? Now we're using the face space membrane, which is from the T6 Oberth. As you can see there, the phase space membrane, it's physical / kinetic damage, immune, scaling damages plus torpedo damage. So that definitely is going to help this build. So minus 20 current aux power each second up to 20 seconds, and that's why we have the aux battery there to help keep the uptime on this. Power transfer rate, but of course immunity to physical and kinetic damage, plus 20 to 400 all other damage resistance rating, and then plus 20% to plus 400% bonus all damage with torpedo weapons is the reason why we are using it. And the Swarmer Matrix, again, we just bought this off the exchange for the plus 30% turn speed. And of course, damage for your targetable torpedoes and plus 50 projectile weapon training. And then we're using this console here, the Covert Warhead Module, plus 28% projectile damage. This is from the Eagle Heron ship. Sets share torpedo recharge to 1.5 seconds if it was longer, or to 0.5 seconds if equipped ship has pilot maneuvers. It doesn't have it, but this is still a great console. We use it because it's giving us projectile damage. And then lastly here, in the console slots, we're just finishing off with vulnerability exploiters, which you can get, of course, from your fleet spire. So that is the console's build. And yes, Captain, this is only T6. We did not T6X or X2 this. Again, Captains, what we try to do here is, when we do pews or builds like this, is try to see what we can do without having to use resources. And I think I was very pleasantly surprised, which we'll share later in the video, how this did in an ISE in terms of its DPS performance. But with all that said, our stats here is 31.8% and a crit severity of 206.4%. Now, Captains, keep in mind, of course, I have my Pendevers ranked to 600, and I know I can go to the max of 750, but we were doing fine before they raised the cap, and we're still doing fine now. And again, very evident in that parse that we will share later on in the video. For our skills here, nothing too different. If you want to pause, I have not changed this, nor do I plan on changing this. We have 8 spent in engineering, 10 spent in Psi, and then 28 spent in tactical. Specialization, of course, Intel is our primary and Temporal is our secondary. Traits, this is what we got going on here. So good day to die, anchored, self-modulating fire, resonating payload modification, hot pursuit for our mines, superior projectile training, unconventional systems, Terran targeting systems, intelligence agent attaché, and of course the Boimler effect. Starship traits, again, we're working with 5 here. This is what we picked. Entwined tactile matrices, universal designs, ceaseless momentum, piercing projectiles, and rapid emitting armaments, or and let's hope I don't myself. Space reputation, we got, of course, precision, advanced targeting systems, omega kinetic shearing, torpedo pre-fire sequence, and Tyler's duality. And for our active space reputation here, anti-time entanglement singularity, biomilker shield gen, force challenge, tethered non-baryonic asteroid, which I don't really use, but it's there. Refractoring Tetron cascade. Stations, this is what we did, left, right, top to bottom. Tractor beam, scramble sensors, photonic shockwave, beam fire at will, scatter volley, this is for back-to-back torpedo spreads. Oh, the one trait that we have to change here that just changed on me and I didn't even realize. Sorry, Caps. We're going to actually take out piercing projectiles. This saved it on the end and put assault formation theta. There you go. That's what was supposed to be on here. Let's make sure we save that now, just because we all know how this works. We'll save it in that slot. There you go. So again, traits, we took out piercing projectiles and added assault formation data because we have here attack pattern omega, because with assault formation theta, this does give you a high yield 3. And we like our high yields 3. Next up, chemosite lace weaponry. Mines dispersal pattern beta. Emergency powered engines. Emit unstable warp bubble, and of course the main dealer here, concentrate firepower 3 along with high yield 3. Call emergency artillery 3, of course, as well. And here we have Dr. Crusher. So she's here, which was a reward from a recent event we had. And the reason why we have Psi Team here, because with Psi Team, it'll give you an additional high yield torpedo 1. So we get 2 back-to-back torpedoes. High yields, we'll have this, high yield 1, high yield 3, and concentrated firepower, and of course back-to-back torp spreads. So that is awesome, and that's what we like. So now we go to our deuce, but just to show you caps here, if you look at the icon here, if I hit Psi Team, we get torpedo high yield. Of course, if you hit attack pattern omega, we get high yield 3. So this is 2 back-to-back high yield torpedoes that we get to fire. So we like that show of force. So there's that. Now we go to our dopes. Of course, we go to our dopes. We got Neil Falconer, of course, increased damage versus the BERG. And Elder Milikatan, increased damage versus all. And for actual space, we have this, the Emergency Con Graphic Officer. It will recharge our evasive maneuvers when we use emergency powered engines. We have 3 projectile weapons officers, one of them which gives us a chance to reduce the time to recharge on our mines, which of course we have 3 of. And the other 2 gives us a chance for stacking crit severity when we fire our projectiles. We also have Delirene here for increased damage versus Zeberg. And 38 of 47, of course, helping us also reduce our bridge officer ability cooldowns after using one for command ability. So that, of course, we have here on this ship. So that is the build. Again, a torpedo platform. This ship is 100%, but like I said, as long as you captains build this synergistically, you can use it in anything you would like to. So let's take this now into an advanced cure and see how she does. Over here, private, here found, just advance. And right away, we're gonna go see how this does. And again, captains, please keep in mind, I only do these for my fun. Period, point blank, that's it. So we're gonna go left, then go to the right one, and gonna go to center. And then of course, stop any of the ships that are heading over to the Kang. See this, I still don't like the simulators looking there, but it is what it is. We'll load up on our torps there. So we'll just head over here. Takes care of that. We carry these, heading over to the Kang. Then we will skedaddle over here, take care of these Borts, or Borts, Bops, I should say. Look at all the torpedo goodness. Love it. And there's the Maelstrom Torps. Take care of that. Head over to these ones over here. They got a shot there at the Kang, but that's okay. We'll take care of them now. Just like that. There they go. Whew. So much torp goodness. That. Good, no chance. The Borg Raptor there. We'll take care of that one. There you go. Now I'll head over here to take care of these Negvar's heading over to the Kang. Look at all those Torp goodness. And there's the torpedo there from that Miracle Worker Texas console. VAC. This one's a stubborn one. There you go. Oh, there it goes. Think I used that battery too late, but it's okay. Still gonna take care of business. Should take care of it. Is that it? That it? That is it. I don't think this even broke a sweat. Alright, can't get out of here. Get out of here. Wait for the assimilated carrier here. Assimilated. We'll buff up. And the Borg ships go night-night. Just like that. Didn't realize that last sphere was still there, but nonetheless, like I said, this thing did not break a sweat. So let's go over here first. Excuse me, sir. We're going to take a Shelfie, captains. You know how we love our Shelfies, and of course that is our ship selfies. Let's just take one at least here, because I love how the light hits here when we're on this map. It's just kind of gorgeous, not gonna lie. There you go. So let's leave here. And then what we'll do, of course, is actually show also the parse of how this did in the ISE, kind of our first, I believe, our first ISE trip that we did when we were live here on YouTube, which again kind of surprised me, to be honest with you, and how well this did, because keeping in mind, again, I didn't T6X or T6X2 this, so, and for it to still do what it did, that I was still pretty amazed, because I still see ships that are T6X2 still doing about this much in a group, and this wasn't a coordinated group. All we had here was just some captains taking out their boards, but also we just had a tank here. Huge shout out to Master Dude who took out his tank, and it did fine. We're going to put here on screen just quickly here to show the parse here of, again, how well this did on the night that we took this out on the bridge here when we were live on YouTube. There you go. And she did 760k. I still see ships with T6X2 doing that much. Yeah, sure, a little bit more, but for this to do that much damage and still have the potential to do more, it actually speaks to how good this ship is, in my opinion. And of course, we built this out even better, or if we wanted more performance, of course we would T6X or X2 this, but of course we're just using this for our fun, and for the nightly pews that we do, it did absolutely fine. So, and like I said, I always do these things just because we can get away more with less in terms of our playthrough here, because I know how I play the game in our nightly pews. We just do these queues sometimes. Even elite content, this still does pretty good. I don't see why this wouldn't do even a million in a coordinated run, because torpedoes still do hit hard, and caps me love me torpedoes. So captains, do us a huge favor, hit that like button. Also comment below, let us know if you got the legendary board here and how you built it out. I would like to know, I'm curious. And of course, if you're new here, consider subscribing here to our YouTube bridge. And of course, we're always on the lookout to share our builds with our fellow captains there, where we can just have fun. And again, that's the purpose of why we share the things we do on Star Trek Online, because like I said, this is our passion, this is how we have fun, and this is how we want to share it, of course, always here on the YouTubers. So captains, always keep in mind that play for fun. Whatever that fun may be, that is up to you, but always just play for fun. And again, as long as you're getting to the content, that's all that matters. And on that note, we will leave it on this.
Live long and prosper.